Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez resuming the criminal docket for the 210th District Court for April 7th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
In cause number 2020-0D01784, State of Texas versus Demi Alexa Guevara. Announcement of counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Good morning, Judge. I apologize for being a little tardy. I was over in County Court 7 for a plea. Just got here.
No worries. So I appreciate, I'm sorry, Judge, the court had been informed that we might have had a resolution on your client's case. And so I did want to bring you all back. I didn't know if we were going to be available because we also had jury panels for today, but I know you were scheduled for Friday. So where are we? I'm just considering this a continuation of the final hearing plea deadline. Did we get some kind of disposition?
We're very my client was considering the last offer. She was discussing it with her family members and was to let me know this morning. I'm actually operating out of the home office because our office phones are down this morning. So I don't know if she's tried to call the office or not, but I need to make contact with her. I've had some back-to-back court hearings this morning, haven't had a chance to call her. So I know that she was considering it. I know that we're very close. I've gone back and forth with Ms. King on some counter offers. So we're very close.
Is Miss, you have good contact though, Judge, with your client? Is there any way we can try and get her on the Zoom right now? If not, this is what I'm going to do. She's going to need to show up tomorrow morning in person.
Understood, Judge. We were planning to be there tomorrow morning if if everything didn't work out, and even if they did work out, I figured you'd probably want to take the plea tomorrow morning. So we were planning to be there tomorrow morning either way.
Well, let me ask. One thing I would obviously like to avoid is if it's going to be a plea and I can cancel. I think it's coming down to your case. So I really don't want to bring in 120 people if we are at a plea. Is there any chance you can contact her? I mean, I'm flexible. I know you're probably just, scoring away after your morning hearings. If we need to reconvene at 1:30 or, after lunch, whatever, can you take a shot at trying to get in touch with her and seeing what her position is?
Certainly, Judge. Okay. I can find out over lunch, and then
sure.
Let the court know right after lunch.
Okay, beautiful. We'll plan to have the Zoom open at 1:30, and so if she's going to plea or not, I think I want her here. So, okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you at 1:30. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Let's go over to Mr. Quinata's case now.
Your Honor.
Good morning.
In cause number 2021-0D0-02337, 2020-0D0-1314, and 2019-0D0-23.
No, hold on a second. That's Mr. Hall. I need Andrew Chilson.
Oh, Chilson.
Uh-huh.
I apologize, Judge. In cause number 2020-0D0-0846, State of Texas versus Andrew Chilson. Announcement of state counsel, please.
Roa King for the state of Texas.
Derek and on behalf of Mr. Chilson, Your Honor, we may waive his appearance on this morning's hearing.
Absolutely. Your client is in custody, but we're here for a final judges conference. I think this has got to be a May 6th trial date. What are we doing on this one?
I believe we have a restitution issue, Judge, that we're hoping to resolve.
Okay.
Your Honor, in the last hearing, defense counsel did indicate that he's going to contest the restitution and file the appropriate motions. That was February 22nd.
I don't see anything filed, Mr. Quinata.
Judge, I was hoping we would be able to entertain it on an oral motion, just simply to contest the restitution. I failed to notate that I had to file a written motion, Judge. Please forgive me. It's customary just to do it
Well, here's the
already-
thing. I don't have any notice of this issue unless you either file something or as you're stating today. So what's the issue?
The issue, Judge, is that it's my contention that the alleged restitution is a tad bit inflated.
Okay, well, I guess here's my point. If we need to have a hearing on it, I don't know what the basis is. I don't see any pleading filed by your office. I would think if there is an issue, if we need to bring witnesses in, we need to have a hearing, there needs to be a motion.
The court's correct, Judge. And with that said, Your Honor, I'm not sure what allowance we would have. We could,
So I don't have a problem. What is, I mean, who is going to prove up restitution or what do you have, Ms. King?
Your Honor, this was for the vehicle. They're actually related, the defendant and the victim. It's an allegation of that, the defendant took his brother's vehicle without any authorized or any consent. And in doing so, he was, I believe he was in a motor vehicle accident. And we have sent, actually, in the last ADA did send the restitution proof.
Okay. And that, what was the issue with that, Mr. Quinata?
well, the proof, Judge, I believe is an estimate. It's a quote, I believe, and you and I both know that in terms of accuracy or even reliability, I think something more ought to be provided, Judge. Not simply a quote.
All right.
I-
If you
I-
want it, if you want something on the restitution, you need to file your motion and have it request a hearing on it, and it needs to be prior to the final hearing plea deadline on May 3rd. If you don't do that, I'm not going to mess with it. If you're not going to put forth the effort to file something, then I'm not going to bother trying to make a determination.
Fair
So
enough, Judge. Fair enough.
we'll see you. If I don't see you for some type of hearing on the restitution, you are set for trial on May 6th. Thank you
Fair
very much.
enough, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, now we can get to Mr. Hull.
In cause number 2021-0D0-0237, 2020-0D0-1314, and 2019-0D0-2396, State of Texas versus Allen Marcus Hall. Announcement of council, please.
Well, King for the state of Texas.
Deborah Bobbin for Mr. Hall.
And Mr. Hall is also appearing remotely. Mr. Hall, I know you had not originally been scheduled to appear for the specific hearings on each of these cases. However, it was brought to my attention this morning by the Public Defender's Office that they have filed a motion to withdraw in each of these cases. And so rather than draw this out to possibly another hearing date when we could get you here, I asked them to reach out to you so that you could be here and we could address the motion to withdraw at today's hearing. And so, Missy Bobbin, I have reviewed the motions to withdraw in all of these cases. And can you just tell me a little bit about what the issues we're having with Mr. Hull, communication, what's going on?
Thank you, Your Honor. There has been communication issues with Mr. Hall. I am not the first attorney from our office that has been assigned to his case, just due to changes in our staffing. But again, it's not the first time that we have had issues with trying to set up meetings and meet with him, and also for him, providing information to help us and aid in his defense. And I even had Mr. Hernandez sit with me and meet with Mr. Hall, so that we could perhaps together be able to work with Mr. Hall and help him and aid in his defense. But that meeting was not successful. Mr. Hall expressed dissatisfaction with our entire office's representation. And so I, per his request, filed the motions to withdraw.
All right. Have you been, I think if looking at Odyssey, if I'm looking at it correctly, have you all been the attorneys from day one on all of these cases?
Have not. I believe Mr. Thomas Brady was the attorney before.
Okay. Do you know when you all were put on these cases?
I believe in 2020, right around when the pandemic started.
Okay. Was there a previous motion to withdraw by Mr. Brady? And if so, was it, because I think he retired, but that date sounds like it predates his retirement. I want to see if there was an issue with Mr. Brady. That would have been maybe on the 2019 case.
I believe there was also an issue with Mr. Brady, Judge.
And he was court appointed. Let me look at that.
Your Honor, on the 2019 case, 2396,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Brady did file a motion to withdraw
I
on
see
March
it.
10th of
March
20,
10th. Let me look.
and he had been court appointed.
Yeah, no. So yeah, what Mr. Brady put in that motion is Mr. Hull no longer wishes to be represented by Mr. Brady. So the court went ahead and appointed the public defender's office. And now it sounds like he doesn't want the public defender's office. So Mr. Hall, I hesitate to ask, well, but I'm going to ask, and I'm going to ask that you not talk about the substance of your cases, okay? Because the prosecutor is here. We are only here now. Well, there was I believe, a final judges conference because you're scheduled for trial on May 6th on all of these cases. But my understanding is with the motion to withdraw, what is the issue? And you are muted, so please unmute.
Your Honor, that's not correct.
I can understand you. You need to speak up just a little bit more.
That information is not correct. Okay, the fellow that I did ask to withdraw, when he came into the judge's, the magistrate, to see me, he was late. He comes in there. He doesn't know anything about my case.
Okay, so wait a minute. Let me stop you right there before we go backwards. What is the problem? Why are we having the public defender? Don't interrupt me. Why are we having the public defender's office filing motions to withdraw when I know both Ms. Ibabin and Mr. Hernandez from the public defender's office, very effective. They're very good at their job. Why are they having difficulty with you in prepping these cases?
Ma'am, it's not difficulty with me. Look, ma'am, we've been doing this for 2 years, okay? And the attorney previous to these two that you're speaking of, I didn't even see her. I spoke to her once on the phone, okay? And then when I speak to these two people that put in this withdrawal, we're having a conversation over Zoom. I tell them that I don't have transportation.
Hold on. Oh, okay, go ahead. Again, just don't tell me anything about, the things that are privileged between you and your attorney, okay? Go ahead.
So I tell them twice that I don't have transportation to come in and do a face-to-face meeting because I filed for disability. I've been having health problems, okay? So the third time, it was finally suggested to have a Zoom meeting, okay? So I have a Zoom meeting. Now, this is the first meeting that I'm having with my lawyers, and we're set for trial within a month. I'm asking them questions. They're telling me that they don't have any information, that they're going to put investigators. Your Honor, we've had 2 years to prepare for this case. And the attorney previous to them, I didn't even get any notice that the attorney was leaving. So in 2 years, I've spoke to an attorney once with that lady, and then this time with these two, and they state to me, when we're having a consultation here, that the meeting has gone on long enough. Man, we got a month to go to a trial, and this is the first time that you're talking to me, and you're telling me 20 minutes, 30 minutes is too long for us
Okay,
to talk about my case.
I hear what you're saying, Mr. Hull. Now, it sounds to me there are a couple of things affecting, I think, what you're telling me. Not the least of which has been obviously this global pandemic. So when you talk about time, that is not lost on me because you have to understand that we are all dealing with quite a bit of backlog and delay due to the circumstances and limitations that the pandemic caused. Okay, now I also hear what you're saying with some of these limited contacts. However, I got to look at things as they are now. Right. And it sounds to me like your attorneys are doing the best with the same circumstances. It sounds to me like you have limits too. I'm sure it would be, if they're offering to meet with you in person, they probably would prefer to do that. And the fact that you're limited with transportation, I understand that, but they are having to deal with that as well. That is not something that falls on their shoulders. I mean, it's not really anybody's fault, but you have to do the best you can. And I understand your frustration. However, it does not sound to me at all like they are not trying to work your case, despite what you're saying of, you only saw someone once before. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. What I do know, though, is that the public defender's office is doing their job now and are needing your assistance. I hear what you're saying, a 20, 30-minute call may not seem like enough, but I know that they will do what they need to do. And so I am not of the mindset that we just jump around from attorneys. First of all, on the motion to withdraw, if we have, appoint someone else, we're starting from scratch. And so my expectation here, Missy Bobbin, look, we're looking at a May 6th trial date. Let me ask, Ms. King, what is the offer on all of these cases?
Your Honor, it's going to be 10 TDC on all cause numbers.
Okay. All right. So there's work to be done. I'm not inclined, I don't know if there's any movement, Missy Bobbin, if there's going to be any way to negotiate this in light of the May 6th trial setting. It sounds to me like we're probably looking at a reset, but Mr. Hall, what I can tell you is because we are also kind of coming out of the pandemic, there's a lot more flexibility with the court in terms of its scheduling. So I don't want you, I'm not saying for sure we're going to reset that trial date, but it sounds to me like there's work to be done and that's likely. So for now, I'm going to deny counsel's motion to withdraw, but I'm going to leave the settings as is, which means we have our May 3rd final hearing plea deadline and our May 6th jury trial. Mr. Hall, do not jump to a conclusion and think like it's the be all to end all on May 3rd and 6th, okay? Because I actually have a ton of cases that day. And it sounds to me like there's work to be done and I can allow a window if needed to work on things. I also don't want you to think, oh, here we go with my case getting pushed back again and it's been 2 years, because I can accommodate you very quickly, meaning I can reset a trial within a couple of months after that if it's doable, because the court has a lot of time now that we are not under the restrictions that we were under during COVID. There was a whole process that you may not be aware of, Mr. Hull, where we were all having to line up court by court. We were limited in the number of people we could bring in for juries, things like that. That is loosening up. So we may be going back to something that is like we used to do. We used to be able to go to trial every week. So I'm just putting that out there. For now though, Missy Bobbin, I'm gonna rely on your office. If there continue to be issues, I hope we don't have those, but if you need to re-urge a motion to withdraw, I will consider it. I mean, I don't think that May 6th trial date is going to be set in stone, okay? That's just what I'm saying for now. But Mr. Hull, again, with a court-appointed attorney, it's not like, you get frustrated and, okay, now I don't want this attorney, I don't want that attorney. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. So you've got the public defender's office. They have a tremendous amount of resources and they know what they're doing. So the motions to withdraw are denied. We have our final hearing plea deadline on May 3rd. Again, if you think prep time is needed, just be thinking about a date when you may want to reset, okay?
Understood, Your Honor. And just for the record, our meeting with him was over an hour and a half long. It was not a 30-minute conversation.
Understood. I know you all know what you're doing. I think we just need to get on the same page. Mr. Hull, we're all dealing with a lot of, like, how can I say, not our favorite circumstances. Believe me, it's not my favorite thing to do, even though sometimes it's efficient, to be sitting here on Zoom and having to queue people up or postpone things because we simply are limited because of the COVID restrictions. Like I said, the bright side of that is we're coming out of it and things will be better, but I need you to be able to be patient and work with your attorneys.
I will.
Go ahead.
Look, I don't want to have to argue with my attorney, Your Honor. I want them
You
to
shouldn't be arguing with your attorney.
You know, because that's what, like, this whole thing has been a defense against me and my attorney. Like you heard, she's just debating like, okay, she's clearing the record. But I mean, we've been doing this tit for tat since she's been on my case. And I don't know what the problem is, but I'm not being able to talk to her for some
Well,
reason.
I
And
don't think,
have
well, let me
nothing
tell you right now, Mr. Hull, I don't think that's a good attitude to have. You should be having a more positive attitude. She is stating, she is stating what she believes is factually accurate. I understand from your position, it may be frustrating and you feel probably that you want every resource and every minute of your attorney's time, and no attorney is going to be able to do that. That doesn't mean they are not doing their best to represent you. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm not trying to.
Okay, so quit being difficult, work with your attorney. We're gonna get there, whatever it's gonna be. Look, the state is offering 10 years in prison for your cases. That's what they're saying they want. Believe me, your attorneys are going to work hard on your case.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. See you all on May 3rd. Missy Bobbin, thank you very much. Mr. Hall, you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Is that the last one?